When you think of cartoon marriages, Peter and Lois Griffin might just take the cake for being the most unpredictable, toxic, and downright chaotic couple on television.
When we get home, let's do it so loud the kids wake up.
Yeah, let's do it on the couch where we all gather as a family and watch television.
Sure, they've been together for decades, but their relationship is a roller coaster of highly questionable decisions.
Destroy me and this laundry.
What makes bra in your mouth?
Oh my god, that's so disturbing!
I know, gross.
Today, we are breaking down the wildest Peter and Lois moments in Family Guy. Let's start the show. Kicking things off with Season 11, Episode 14, Call Girl. What happens when a desperate housewife secretly takes a job on a spicy adult phone line, only for her husband to unknowingly become her #1 customer? Well, it leads to a hilarious case of accidental infidelity. Let's break it down. The chaos starts when the Griffins find themselves completely broke after another one of Peter's ridiculous schemes involving a falcon and a stolen motorcycle.
Now what are we gonna do? We have no money.
Well, that's okay, Lois. We got a wonderful family.
No, we don't.
Lois realizes she needs to step up and get a job to save the family. By pure chance, a talent agent overhears her uniquely nasally speaking voice and offers her a gig. But when Lois shows up for her first day, she quickly discovers it's not exactly standard voiceover work. She has been hired to work for a highly paying adult phone line.
I can't do this.
It pays $2,000 a week, sweetie.
Oh my god. With that type of money, I could buy pots and pans at Williams-Sonoma.
At first, Lois is totally creeped out and wants to quit, but when she hears the job pays $2,000 a week, she decides to power through and secure the bag. Naturally, spending all day talking to gross, creepy guys on the phone completely destroys Lois's desire for any intimacy at home. She constantly gives Peter the cold shoulder, leaving him incredibly frustrated.
Lois barely wants to do it no more. I'm going crazy here.
Ugh, I hear you.
Seeing his buddy struggle, Quagmire suggests a highly questionable solution. Peter should call this amazing new phone operator he's been talking to.
Well, I guess I could try it.
Trust me, Peter.
Peter makes the call and connects with an operator named Classy. Unbeknownst to Peter, Classy is actually Lois. Instead of confronting him right then and there, Lois decides to play along to see how far Peter will actually go.
Try anything new today? Talk to anyone interesting?
No, not really. Oh, that beef bowl is wrecking me.
Surprisingly, Peter and Classy build a really sweet, emotional connection over the phone. Eventually, Peter asks to meet up in person. They both show up to a local hotel wearing the most ridiculous, obvious disguises imaginable. But right before anything happens, Peter gets cold feet. He admits to Classy that he can't go through with it because he actually loves his wife way too much to cross that line. Touched by his bizarre display of loyalty, Lois drops the disguise and reveals her true identity. Since Peter technically tried to cheat and Lois completely lied about her new job, they agree to just call it even. In a weird way, the whole sketchy ordeal actually makes them fall in love all over again. Coming in at number 2 on our wildest couples list, we have Season 21, Episode 4, The Manurion Candidate. What happens when a wife uses a secret hypnosis trigger to force her husband to get in the mood? Well, it leads to one of the absolute most scarring and highly inappropriate family moments in Quahog history. Let's get into it. It all starts with Peter and Lois out on a date, desperately trying to rekindle the spark of their golden years. Lois wants to get a little adventurous, but Peter is incredibly hesitant to go down to Australia, if you catch my drift. And hey, if his version of Australia is filled with as many dangerous predators as the real one, I totally get why he'd be scared to visit.
How do I put this? Let's just say Peter doesn't always Munchausen my proxy.
What do you mean?
Like he doesn't always go to Australia.
So, trying to follow in the footsteps of Joe and Bonnie, they decide to see a couples therapist to fix their intimacy issues. The therapist suggests a highly unorthodox method, hypnosis. She gives Peter a specific trigger phrase that will essentially train his brain to get into the mood the exact second he hears it. But instead of a normal word, the trigger accidentally ends up being the catchy theme jingle from the celebrity tabloid show, Extra.
I guess I'll just go make some sad spaghetti.
Lois instantly realizes the absolute goldmine she is sitting on. She records the jingle on her phone and starts getting a little too comfortable with her new superpower. She plays the song to hypnotize Peter whenever she wants a quick romantic pick-me-up, completely taking away his say in the matter. We hear the floorboards creaking upstairs, and let's just say they are definitely not playing a friendly game of Go Fish.
Just don't forget we have dinner at my parents' house later.
Oh, sweet! I can't wait to spread 10 minutes of fun over 5 hours.
But Lois's little life hack takes a massive, horrific turn during a family dinner at her parents' house. Carter mentions that Babs is upstairs feeling sick in bed. So Lois casually asks Peter to make a plate of food and bring it up to her mom. Simple enough, right? Well, if Babs is anything like Lois, she probably enjoys winding down by watching a little late-night entertainment television. And the exact show she happens to be watching right as Peter walks into her bedroom is Extra. The TV blares the jingle. Peter's brain instantly goes into sleeper agent mode and he pounces. We are then treated to the most terrifying, blood-curdling scream any human has ever let out. Honestly, you might want to warn anyone with sensitive ears, because the audio of Babs screaming for her life is absolutely chilling. The car ride home is completely silent, save for a Weird Al song playing on the radio. Probably the best move. Just go home and literally never speak of this ever again. But the second they walk through the door and see their kids, all thoughts of intimacy are permanently destroyed. I don't blame them. After a night like that, wiping Quahog off the map might be the only real solution. Coming in at number 3 on our wildest couples list, we have Season 18, Episode 6, Peter and Lois Wedding. What happens when the Wi-Fi completely dies and parents are actually forced to interact with their children? Well, Peter and Lois decide to pass the time by telling the wildly inaccurate sitcom-style story of how they tied the knot. Let's break it down. The whole thing kicks off when the internet goes out at the Griffin house, leaving the family stranded in the ultimate modern nightmare, being incredibly bored.
Okay, everyone calm down. I know how we'll get through this. This is the story of the greatest trilogy ever told.
To save the evening, Peter and Lois decide to share the epic story of their 90s romance. And of course, because it's Peter's memory, their 20s play out exactly like a classic 90s sitcom. They all live in giant, impossibly expensive city apartments while working terrible jobs, hanging out across the hall from each other, just like the cast of Friends.
Guys, I've got big news. Tell them, Quagmire.
I got a promotion at Blockbuster.
According to the story, Peter and Lois dated for a bit but decided to take a break and just be roommates. Ah yes, the classic "we were on a break" television trope. You just know that's going to end well.
I actually briefly dated one of our roommates, Barry.
He was one of them what the fountain took.
But despite being just friends, Peter is still completely head over heels for her. He finally scrounges up enough courage and cash to buy an engagement ring. But when he goes to pop the question, Lois drops a massive bomb. She's already engaged to local news anchor Tom Tucker.
Passed over for Tom Tucker? That's terrible. What do you think of that, fellow 90s star Joey Lawrence?
Meh.
After a little grand romantic convincing, Lois realizes her heart actually belongs to Peter and calls off the engagement. Shockingly, Carter Pewterschmidt actually takes the news really well and even offers to pay for Peter's bachelor party. But come on, this is Carter we're talking about. It's obviously a massive trap. He hires a girl to completely throw herself at Peter during a mud wrestling match, and Lois walks in at the exact wrong moment to see them locking lips. Heartbroken and feeling betrayed, Lois leaves Peter in the dust and goes crawling right back to Tom Tucker to continue with their wedding. Meanwhile, Peter goes his own way and inexplicably becomes a massive tech billionaire. But he quickly realizes that all the success and money in the world means absolutely nothing without Lois. So,
But also, it's Lois. She's getting married tomorrow. Somehow all this success feels meaningless knowing I'm about to lose her forever.
in true over-the-top action movie fashion, Peter literally rocket jumps his way to the church right before Lois can say "I do." Busting through the doors, he delivers a surprisingly passionate speech about how he hasn't stopped thinking about her since the exact day they met. His words are enough to win her back, and the two officially elope at the most romantic, high-class venue Peter can possibly think of, Fenway Park. Sure, the timeline makes zero sense and completely breaks the show's established canon, but it's still a hilarious look at how chaotic their love story has always been.
I now pronounce this the last straight marriage.
Wrapping up our list of the wildest Peter and Lois moments is Season 14, Episode 11, The Peanut Butter Kid. What happens when the Griffins discover their infant son has a natural talent for acting? Well, Peter and Lois instantly transform into the absolute worst, most overbearing Hollywood stage parents imaginable. Let's break it down. The whole mess starts because the Griffins are completely broke, after giving the classic pray to the sky for cash method a try, which, shockingly, doesn't work.
Peter, every month our savings get smaller and smaller. We really gotta figure out a better way to budget for this family's future.
They head out to the mall to wander around. While there, they stumble upon an open casting call looking for a toddler to star in a new peanut butter commercial. Figuring it's an easy way to make a quick buck, they toss Stewie into the audition. And of course, Stewie absolutely crushes it.
Bob, look over there.
He lands the role, the commercial airs, and it becomes a massive hit. Suddenly, Stewie is a certified child star, and more importantly, the royalty checks start rolling in. Once Peter and Lois realize they can just sit back and live off their baby's ad revenue, they completely lose their minds. Because if there is one thing that never ever goes wrong, it's putting a kid into show business, right?
You know, Stewie actually got a call for another commercial tomorrow. Who knows? This could be the beginning of a nice career for him.
But the pressure quickly ramps up. When Stewie struggles at his very next audition, Peter and Lois totally panic, terrified that he's just a one-hit wonder. Instead of being supportive, understanding parents, they crank their toxicity up to an 11. They force him to work day and night, constantly threatening to throw away his toys if he doesn't perform perfectly. To make sure he nails his next audition for an orange juice commercial, they actually give him a highly questionable super caffeinated energy booster. Sure, Stewie gets the part, but he is completely wired and out of his mind on camera. Seeing Stewie's mental health rapidly deteriorating, Brian decides to step in. He gives Peter and Lois a harsh reality check about the dark, tragic fate of most child stars, warning them that Stewie is headed down a terrible path. Stewie practically begs to quit, but his parents refuse to let their cash cow go. So, Stewie takes matters into his own hands. He purposely orchestrates a massive, highly publicized, Hollywood-style diva breakdown right on set. The public tantrum is exactly what it takes to finally snap Peter and Lois out of their greedy trance. They realize what absolute monsters they've been and sincerely apologize for getting so caught up in the money that they forgot he was just a baby. Though to be fair, considering Stewie's usual track record of building time machines and weapons of mass destruction, a little Hollywood diva tantrum is probably the most normal thing he's ever done.